Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to SFF180. It is Monday morning, July the 4th, and time once again for the mailbag. How have you guys been doing? I mean, I have missed this place. I have missed being here so very much. I feel like, I went on this vacation that turned into a very extended, unintentionally extended vacation. And I guess sometimes you have to experience that to realize that the true vacation paradise in your life is your very own home. And I have really learned that lesson, I think. Not to say that I didn't have some good times and see some people that I really like and went to some lovely places. I did all of those things, but I have missed being back here. And I am so happy to be back. Now, I do still have some videos to finish editing and uploading that I recorded while I was out and about on the road. Book reviews that I did, I'll be getting those up over the next couple of weeks. But yeah, on the whole, I am come home to a really big stack of books, a huge stack of mail. A lot of these, I think, are going to be stuff that's already out. These are going to be finished copies. Some of these are things that have come out and landed in stores during the time that I was gone. A few of them may be upcoming things. So we'll just get through them, though, and we'll see what we have, shall we? All right, so I'm going to start out with a little package that looks like it might be from Hachette. Okay, I am super happy to have my hands on this as a finished copy. It looks gorgeous. This is the finished copy in hardcover of the Ballad of Perilous Graves. The author is Alex Jennings, a Black author from New Orleans. This is a debut novel, and this is something that looks like it breathes all kinds of new life into the urban fantasy genre. You might be saying, oh, I'm not really into it, but neither am I, really. I got super burned out on it in the 2000s, but sometimes it just takes a new voice and a new perspective to kick a dead genre back into gear, as it were. And so let me just read the flap here, and you'll understand what I mean. Well, first off, get a load of these end papers. This is the map. It is set in a kind of fantasy secondary version of New Orleans. It says, NOLA is a city full of wonders. An alternate New Orleans made of music and magic. It's a place of sky trolleys and dead cabs, where haints dance the night away and wise women help to keep order. To those from away, NOLA might seem strange. To Perilous Graves, it's simply home. In a world of everyday miracles, Perry might not have a talent for magic, but he does know NOLA's rhythm as intimately as his own heartbeat. So when the city's great magician starts appearing in odd places and essential songs are forgotten, Perry realizes trouble is afoot. 9 songs of power have escaped from the piano that maintains the city's beat. And without them, NOLA will fail. Unwilling to watch his home be destroyed, Perry will sacrifice everything to save it, but a storm is brewing, and the haint of all haints is awake. NOLA's time might be coming to an end. I mean, yeah, for someone, if you live in New Orleans, if you've been to New Orleans, as I have many times, as a setting for something like this, I think this is going to be wonderful. So, The Ballad of Perilous Graves by Alex Jennings is now available from Orbit. All right, so next up, I have a big old stack of these white envelopes. You guys know what that means. It's usually going to be a bunch of Macmillan Tor.com stuff. So let's just plow through them and see what we have. Okay, so first up we have, this looks very interesting to me. This is a short novel by Rachel Swirsky. It is called January 15th from Tor.com Publishing. This one came out on the 14th of June. It says, January 15th, the day all Americans receive their annual universal basic income payment. Okay, so it's a fantasy. Got it. For Hannah, a middle-aged mother, today is the anniversary of the day she took her 2 children and fled her abusive ex-wife. For Janelle, a young broke journalist, today is another mind-numbing day interviewing passers-by about the very policy she once opposed. For Olivia, a wealthy college freshman, today is Waste Day, when rich kids across the country compete to see who can most obscenely squander the government's money. For Sarah, a pregnant teen, today is the day she'll journey alongside her sister wives to pick up the payments that undergird their community, and perhaps embark on a new journey altogether. In this near-future science fiction novella, it's 226 pages. I refuse to call anything of that length a novella. Let us not call... I am once again asking you to stop calling every single thing Tor.com publishes, a novella. It's not, okay? Sorry, that's a pesky little detail that I may be anal retentive about, but I don't care. Anyway, it says, for women across the United States, the 15th of January is another day of the status quo and another chance at making lasting change. Okay, so it's a speculative fiction story in which, what if we had this thing? How would it affect people's lives? So sounds very interesting. So, January 15th, available now from Tor.com. Not a novella. And next up, we have this one from Tor. This is The Grief of Stones. It's by Catherine Addison, and it is the direct sequel to Witness for the Dead, and it is set in the same fantasy realm as The Goblin Emperor, although it's part of its own, story arc, as it were. This one also came out on June the 14th. It says, Addison took the world by storm with her brilliant and sensitive characterizations in The Goblin Emperor, and she continues to immerse readers in the lives of her characters in this delightful spin-off series. As a witness for the dead, Athara Selahar can speak to the recently departed, see the last thing they saw, know the last thought they had, experience the last thing they felt. It is his duty to use that ability to ascertain the intent of the dead and to find the killers of the murdered. Selahar's time in the city of Amalo has brought him both friends and enemies, and no little notoriety. Now, when solving the murder of a Marquise, raises more questions than it answers, he finds himself exploring Amalo's dark underside. His investigations lead him to the Kemchalarna School for Foundling Girls, where all is not as it seems. Discovering the truth about its headmistress will lead Selahar deep into the city's history and into shattering the depths of the loss he fears the most. Okay, and so this is The Grief of Stones, again a short novel, not a novella, from Tor. And it came out on June the 14th, available now. Continuing on with Tor stuff, this is Daughter of Red Winter by Ed McDonald. This is a really beautiful hardcover edition, awesome cover. Let's have a look and see what it's... Where's it? Okay, read the flap. All right. Okay, so it says, Rain can see and speak to the dead. Don't the dead get tired of all these fantasy characters talking to them after all? Because they're just like, shut up and go away. Come on, I'm busy being dead. Leave me alone. Had enough of this. Oh well. It says, it's a gift that comes with a death sentence. All her life she has hidden, lied, and run to save her skin, and she's made some spectacularly bad choices along the way. But it is a rare act of kindness, rescuing an injured woman in the snow, that becomes the most dangerous decision Rain has ever made. Because the woman is fleeing from Red Winter, the fortress monastery of the Draoin. I just went with that word. It is spelled Draoihn. So, warrior magicians they are. They answer to no king, and who will stop at nothing to reclaim what she has stolen. A battle, a betrayal, and a horrific revelation force Rain to enter the citadel and live among the Draoin. She soon finds that her secret ability could be the key to saving an entire nation, though she might have to die to make it happen. And it says, the first of a brilliant fantasy series about how one choice can change your universe, by the author of the critically acclaimed Raven's Mark series. Okay, and so this one is also available now from Tor, Daughter of Red Winter. And next up, also from Tor, I am very pleased to see The Origin of Storms. This is new from Elizabeth Bear. It is the third volume in her Lotus Kingdoms trilogy, following The Stone in the Skull and the Red-Stained Wings. And this is also set in the same universe as an earlier trilogy. I think of the titles. Well, hang on, I'll have to look them up. But one of them was Steles of the Sky. And Shattered Pillars, Range of Ghosts. That was I think I actually went backwards in order there. But anyway, that trilogy, this one is set in the same universe as that one, as it were. And what can I say about these? Oh, as you can tell, dragons. dragons are a thing. So what can I say that won't be spoilery, though? It just says the Lotus Kingdoms are at war with 4 claimants to the Sorcerer's Throne of the Alchemical Emperor, fielding 3 armies between them. Alliances are made and broken many times over, but in the end, only one can sit on the throne. And that one must have not only the power, but the rightful claim. And I'm going to stop there. So you see, it is that kind of epic fantasy. Elizabeth Bear is an author that I am either hot or cold on, either really, like what I read from her, or just doesn't work for me at all. There doesn't seem to be any kind of middle ground, but I have heard fantastic things about this trilogy, so now that it's all out, I'm looking forward maybe to getting into them at some point soon. But The Origin of Storms wraps up the Lotus Kingdom trilogy, and it's now out from Tor. Now, one more white envelope left, but this one is from Soho Press. Okay, I am super happy to have this one in finished form. This is, once again, Venomous Lumpsucker. It is by Ned Bowman. It is out from Soho Press on July the 12th. And you probably recall seeing this one as an ARC, because I did get a physical ARC for it. But, just to refresh all of your memories, a darkly absurd story of environmental collapse and the end of civilization, from the Booker-listed author of The Teleportation Accident. It's the near future, and tens of thousands of species are going extinct every year. But the loss is not total. DNA sequences are being digitized and uploaded to a global network of biobanks. And so are brain and body scans, recordings of behaviors in the wild, microbiota profiles, and constellations of other data. Soon, when the technology is more advanced, the lost species will be brought back. Then biobanks are hit by a coordinated cyber attack, erasing their cloud storage systems and laying waste to physical archives. Karen Ressaint and Mark Halliard are concerned with the survival of one species in particular, the venomous lumpsucker, a small, ugly bottom feeder that happens to be the most intelligent fish on the planet. Ressaint is an animal cognition scientist, consumed with existential grief over what humans have done to nature. Halliard is a jaded corporate environmental impact coordinator, connected to the mining operation that wiped out the lumpsucker's last known habitat. Across the dystopian landscapes of the 2030s, the floating cities, toxic waste sanctuaries, and totalitarian hinterlands, Ressaint and Halliard hunt for a living lumpsucker. And the farther they travel, the more indications they find of something deeper, a hidden network of power and transformation at the far limits of their understanding. Virtuosic and profound, witty and despairing, Venomous Lumpsucker is an exploration of both the grim possibilities of the near future, as well as the surprises it may still hold in store, if only we search for them. Okay, so it sounds very much like the kind of thing, as I said before, that if you might like if you are into Cory Doctorow or Jeff Vandermeer, writers like that. Venomous Lumpsucker by Ned Bowman, and it will be out on the 12th. Okay, moving on. It looks like now the next couple of packages are going to be from HarperCollins. And the first of these is from Raymond Feist, and it is Master of Furies. This is the third and final volume in his newest trilogy, the Firemane Saga. This has no connection to any of his Rift War novels, that very famous long-running series that went on for decades. This is an entirely new world that he has created for this trilogy. And let's see, what can I say about it? It was preceded by King of Ashes and Queen of Storms. And I feel like, what can I tell you? I mean, you can see right here, it is very much a traditional epic fantasy. But it says, it's a thrilling conclusion. The epic Firemane Saga war has swept across Markensis. Ruthless raiders have massacred the inhabitants of Baron's Hill, including, oh, well, I can't say that because that would be a spoiler. But, yes, epic battles and what have you. Ray Feist, I guess, back in the saddle again, and he's wrapped up his trilogy with Master of Furies, and it's now available from Harper Voyager. All right, and next up we are going with a pretty heavy little box here from Saga Press, so I'm pretty sure I know what this is. And it is the finished copy of Speaking Bones by Ken Liu. This is the final volume in his Dandelion Dynasty series. This was originally intended to be a trilogy, and then it turned into one of those things where the final book just kept going. So he split it into two, and probably a very good thing, because this one alone weighs in at over 1,000 pages. So again, I can't really, because it is book 4, I can't really, give a synopsis of it, just no way to avoid spoilers, but I'm pretty sure so many of you are out there who are fully aware of this series and what it's all about and have been looking forward to this, and I've been looking forward to it as well. So Speaking Bones is finally out from Saga Press in a hefty hardcover. All right, now we're going to move into some random Penguin titles. I think I have about 3 or 4 of these. Okay, so we are starting out with the finished copy in hardcover of Blake Crouch's Upgrade, which comes out on July the 12th. And yeah, I have just reviewed this, as I'm sure most of you know. If you haven't watched the review, well, now's your chance. I'll go ahead, though, and I will read the synopsis anyway, instead of just telling you go watch my review, although, of course, you should do that. But I thought this book was pretty good. It says, Upgrade introduces readers to Logan Ramsey, a husband and father working to absolve himself from his family's horrifying legacy. Years ago, his mother, world-famous biologist Miriam Ramsey, made a revolutionary gene-editing breakthrough designed to allow Earth to course-correct and save humanity from extinction. Working alongside her, Logan bore witness to all of her invention's promise and its catastrophic results. Instead of slowing down Earth's destruction, Miriam Ramsey had sped it up. As the book opens, we find Logan working as a federal agent, having dedicated his life to busting illegal gene-editing operations and averting disasters like the one that haunts him. While out on a mission, he's targeted by a mysterious attack, and in its aftermath, he begins to notice his body and his brain changing. He can focus better, play chess like a master, read multiple books in a day, and perform... Where can I get this hack? Thank you, please. Yeah, set me up. Anyway, he can perform complex math equations, and physically he's growing stronger, faster, more agile. As Logan will come to learn, he's been upgraded, his genome hacked to turn him into the ultimate human. And what's happening to him is just the first step in a much larger plan, one that will inflict the same changes on humanity at large. Logan's new abilities make him the one person in the world capable of stopping what's been set in motion. But even as he's fighting, he can't help wondering what if humanity's only hope for a future really does lie in engineering our own evolution. And there, of course, is a side effect to this whole upgrade that, this isn't telling you and I won't spoil. But anyway, so yeah, comes out on July the 12th, and I have already reviewed it, so go and check that out. And here it is. So, Upgrade by Blake Crouch. All right, next up we have this one in hardcover, this little tome, or rather big tome, I should say, another tome from Del Rey. This is The Final Strife, finished copy. The author is Sara El Arifi. This is a debut novel. It came out on the 21st of June, I believe. Yes, it did. And anyway, this is another one of those where there's an absolutely stunning full-color map on the... There you go, Thomas. On the end papers, so... get an idea of the world there in some really gorgeous production. But it says, The Final Strife is the real deal. Epic fantasy turned on its head in the most compelling way imaginable. Scylla dreams of days growing up in the Resistance, being told she would spark a revolution that would free the Empire from the red-blooded ruling class's tyranny. That spark was extinguished the day she watched her family murdered before her eyes. Anur has been told she's nothing, no one, a disappointment by the only person who matters, her mother, the most powerful ruler in the Empire. But when Scylla and Anur meet, a fire burns between them that could consume the kingdom and their hearts. Right. Hassa moves through the world unseen by upper classes, so she knows what it means to be invisible. But invisibility has its uses. It can hide the most dangerous of secrets, secrets that can reignite a revolution. And when she joins forces with Scylla and Anur, together these grains of sand will become a storm. As the Empire begins a set of trials of combat and skill designed to find its new leaders, the stage is set for blood to flow, power to shift, and cities to burn. Okay, we'll be honest, based on that write-up, doesn't sound like it's mining much in the way of originality, and it does sound, very similar to something like The Jasmine Throne in terms of its, basic plot and what have you. But again, it's all in the telling, and it could be very entertaining all the same. The Final Strife, I'm looking forward to reading it. The Final Strife is now available from Del Rey in hardcover. And next, from Daw in hardcover, we have this one in from W. Michael Gear. This is a book called Implacable Alpha, and this is a sequel to a book he had come out last year called, I think, The Alpha Protocols, something like that. Yeah, anyway, W. Michael Gear usually writes with his wife, and they've written a great many novels that are also historicals and what have you. But, together and apart, they do fantasy and science fiction and what have you. And so this is... Let me see, what can I say about it? Called the Anoia, the woman who came within a heartbeat of killing prisoner Alpha in the Grantham parking garage is back. This time she has snatched Dr. Timothy Ryan. The Psi team find themselves caught in a battle that has been raging across timelines for 2,000 years. But can they trust the Anoia, or is she using our timeline for her own purposes? Meanwhile, Bill Stevens has his own agenda, and his goons have already crossed blades with Psi Team. Now they are coming for Alpha and all the revenge they can get. Okay, sounds like lots and lots of action and what have you, and, different groups battling one another over, I guess, what appears to be multiple timelines. But Implacable Alpha, the sequel to the Alpha Protocol by W. Michael Gear, is now available from DAW Books. I'm not sure who this one is from. Looks like it was probably from an individual publicist or something. We'll see. Okay, I'm very happy to have this. Now, I already have this one as an e-arc, but it's nice to have a physical arc, even though I don't request them as often as I used to. But this is Alastair Reynolds' Eversion, new novel by one of my very favorite science fiction writers. And for an Alastair Reynolds book, it's actually a pretty modest undertaking. It's only like right about 300 pages. So it's not, not unlike 5, 6, 7, like the Revelation space books and what have you. But anyway, this one says, a deadly mystery, a dangerous exploration, an astonishing adventure. Dr. Silas Code has been tasked with keeping his crew safe as they adventure across the galaxy in search of a mysterious artifact. But as things keep going wrong, Silas soon realizes that something more sinister is at work, and this may not even be the first time it's happened. In the 1800s, a sailing ship crashes off the coast of Norway. In the 1900s, a zeppelin explores an icy canyon in Antarctica. In the far future, a spaceship sets out for an alien artifact. Each excursion goes horribly wrong. And on every journey, Dr. Silas Code is the physician. But only Silas seems to realize that these events keep repeating themselves. It's up to him to figure out why and how to stop it all from happening again. From one of the most exciting voices in modern science fiction comes an extraordinary novel of deception and exploration that spans our past and distant future among the stars. And this is Eversion by Alastair Reynolds, and it's saying August the 2nd is when this will be out. From Orbit. And next I have another heavy little chunk of a box, and this one is from Blackstone Publishing. Okay, then. I might have expected that it would be something like this, but hey, happy to have it. This is Helldivers 9, Radioactive. This is the series that just won't quit. So the author is Nicholas Sansbury Smith. It is, as you might have guessed from the title, the 9th volume in the Helldivers series. Post-apocalyptic series, it says, what can be said about it? What I understand is that, the surface of the Earth is now uninhabitable except for, I guess, horrible creatures or, enemies of some sort. And everyone lives up in the sky, as it were. And so it says, new monsters, new terrain, new threats. Welcome to Australia. Well, that's just Australia. It's not necessarily post-apocalyptic Australia. But anyway, Helldivers 9, and it very helpfully says books 1 through 8 of the Helldivers series are also available. Good to know. All right, but this is from Blackstone Publishing, and June 21st this one came out. So, go for it. And I am wrapping up the mailbag this week with a couple of titles in from Titan. This first one is The Seed of Kain. The author is Agnes Gomillion. And I believe that this is the sequel to a book called The Record Keeper, which came out a couple of years ago. I remember getting it and thinking, wow, that looked really interesting. But of course, me being me, I didn't get around to it at the time. But anyway, here's the sequel. So now maybe I have an excuse. But what can I say about, well, maybe this won't be too spoilery. It says, General Arika Cobain, beloved leader of the Worker Rebellion, makes a bold but illegal move to ensure the people's freedom. When her scheme fails and her co-conspirator hangs for treason, Arika, overworked and overwrought, blacks out. When she awakens, everything has changed. She's been stripped of her rank and power. And the new leader of the Congo, Kira Swan, is a charismatic traitor bent on consigning the Congo under the guise of peace. Desperate, Arika reunites with Hosea Khan and seeks treatment for her blackouts at the compound, deep in the deadly Obi Forest. Arika is determined to regain her influence, stop Kira Swan, and continue leading the Congo to freedom. But time is running out, and she's still unwell. Control is slipping from her fingers. When a new source of strength presents itself, an ancient authority reserved for the one destined to save the Congo, Arika gives up everything, including Hosea Khan, to grasp the power. But all alone, and sick and tired, can she muster the will to hold it? Okay, so there you are. The Seed of Kain, the sequel to The Record Keeper, and it is available now from Titan Books. And finally, we have The Path of Thorns. The author is A.G. Slatter, has also written as Angela Slatter. Let's see, this one, I think, yeah, this is a standalone, I believe. It says, Asher Todd comes to live with the mysterious Morwood family as a governess to their children. Ooh, okay, so this is kind of gothy. Asher knows a little about being a governess, but she is skilled in botany and herbcraft, and perhaps more than that. And she has secrets of her own, dark and terrible. And Morwood is a house that eats secrets. With a monstrous revenge in mind, there we are, Asher plans to make it choke. However, she becomes fond of her charges, of the people of the Tarn, and she begins to wonder if she will be able to execute her plan, and who will suffer most if she does. But as the ghosts of her past become harder to control, Asher realizes she has no choice. All right then, dark magic, retribution, and twisted family secrets combine to weave a bewitching and addictive tale. And this is The Path of Thorns, available now from Titan Books. And there you have it. You guys know the drill. Light up the comments. Let me know which of these looks most interesting and exciting to you, and which you would like to see me prioritize for review. I feel like I'm really rusty at this. I shouldn't be, but I guess I'm just, going to get back in the groove of it now that I'm back. Anyway, if you enjoyed watching, as always, please hit that like button, share the video far and wide with all of your SFF reading friends, and above all, please subscribe if you haven't done so. That's how the channel grows. And you can also support the channel at my TeePublic store and at my Patreon, where recruits into Wink's Army get little perks like getting yearly access to some of my videos if I happen to finish them early enough. Alright, so I want to thank all those people for their added support, because I use the Patreon money specifically to pay Matt Olson, my wonderful gifted channel artist who does all of my amazing thumbnails and things for me. So thank you all for that added support. I want to thank the rest of you guys for being the very best viewers in all of BookTube, and until I see all of you next time, please stay very safe and healthy, and happy reading.